Shh. Shh. Visiting angels. America's choice. Home care. You guys, I have a hat on. It's like I never wear a hat, but it was a day where I was like, I'm not washing my hair. So sorry about the hat. Sorry.
I don't know why you apologize when I do this every other day. Like,
yeah, but you have like the cute pigtails and like it's all braided and cute. She's like, oh, I'm Pippi Longstocking. I'm Pippi Mockstocking. Look at me. And I'm like, I'm not.
Got to use that. Next time I have braids, I'm totally using
Pippi Mockstocking. You should totally. You're welcome. Anyways, you guys, I have a point of personal privilege. First, before you do anything else, subscribe to this podcast. If you haven't already, click the subscribe, click the bell, click all the things, click everything. Just keep clicking until you can click no more. Click the things. I implore you to do that. Okay. Or you're going to miss us every single day. So do that. Also, talking to one of my friends this morning. Oh my God. She just left me like the longest text too. And I'm not going to say her name. I know the last of it, I didn't get to read because we were doing pre-show, but, she asked me this morning, this is a liberal friend of mine. She's a doctor. But she asked me this morning, hey, when you're off the air today, send me a link for where I can go to watch your show live. I tried yesterday and I can only find yesterday's. I'm having political identity confusion. Now, I've known her for several years. Our daughters are really, really good friends. In fact, they're going to church camp here in a couple weeks. And I told her, where she can find the show and everything. And I said, come to the dark side. We have cookies and hugs. And she was like, I'm pretty sure I was already on the dark side. And I said, well, I'm pretty sure you were more right-leaning than you thought. You just needed some time. I'm a dinosaur. I know these things. And she said, listen, I just hated Trump. Still do, though not as much as the people claiming that he staged his own assassination attempt, et cetera, are saying, I can't believe he missed. He had one job. It's appalling. But, once you make money, you like to keep it, among other things. And I told her, we went kind of back and forth a little bit. And so anyways, she was like, so you're going to read this thread, aren't you? And I said, well, I'll obviously keep you anonymous and everything. But she said, listen, just keep it anonymous. And I'm fine with that because I can't be the only one. All right. And as much as I don't like Trump, if he looked 4 years ago like he looks now, I wouldn't have disliked him.
Which is another reason that he needs to stay the course and not become old Trump and be just like this huge dick. You know what I mean?
Well, I thought it was an interesting perspective because she was, for all intents and purposes, a liberal, and now she's changing. And I don't think she's alone, you guys. I don't think she's alone. I think a lot of as much as we see and we talk about, perspectives of the left and how a lot of them have just they have just gone completely off their rockers and they're just full on commies now. There are people like her who are reasonable people who are watching what's happening to Democrats. And they're like, y'all are crazy. Y'all are crazy. And I don't want to be associated with the crazy, and so they're starting to, and listen, this is a woman she's pro-life. There are a lot of things who we absolutely agree on. And I always I've been like, why aren't you on our side? So I kind of always knew that like, there's a lot of right-leaning aspects to her, but she's younger and, very, very, just a brilliant lady. I think, in that she's I don't want to say a generation below me, but she's a millennial. And so I think that generation, I don't want to say that they've been told you have to be on the left. You know what I mean? Like that's the cool thing to be, but it's not cool to be conservative, you guys. It's just not. And so I think a lot of people in that generation feel that way. And
but the Trump hate is an important point, and it's a worry. It continues to be a worry and a concern for me about this upcoming election because there's going to be a lot of dumb women who just don't care how crazy their party is. They're going to vote Kamala simply because they hate Donald Trump. And it doesn't matter if they're not serving their own interests by doing so. They're still going to do it because that's crazy.
Right. Democrats will use the woman card. They'll use the woman card this time because, man, they are reinventing her. She is dumber than a stick. And they are making her into aren't they?
Oh my
it's
God.
Nuts.
They are trying.
So yeah. So anyways, I thought I'd share that with you guys. I don't know if you have any experiences like that in your own life, but I do think it's interesting that that's happening. So yeah.
I'm very glad to hear that she is
finding
her way.
So welcome. We welcome all that with open arms, hugs and cookies.
That's right.
Right? Mm-hmm.
That's right. For people that really, really, really super hate Trump, but who are also existing in the country the way it is today under Bidenomics, I don't even know. Like, you got to get past your hatred and you got to do what's right for your own financial benefit.
Right.
And right now, there's a whole bunch of people that are struggling hard with crushing debt because of interest rates, because they can't afford to just live beyond paycheck to paycheck. That's if they're lucky. A lot of people are living credit card statement to credit card statement and finding themselves overwhelmed by debt. They're starting to get the collection notices. They're starting to get those threatening phone calls. And there is help. If you are a person in that situation who has thought, I probably am going to have to file for bankruptcy, don't pull the trigger just yet. Find out how fast you can get out of debt with ZeroDebt USA. You can just visit zapmydebt.com. And by the way, if you are a person who has used zapmydebt.com to get yourself out of financial struggles, please tell us your story. Send us an email. All of our contact information is on our website. We would love to hear how they've helped you. And then also you should know that ZeroDebt USA is backed not just by us, but by Michael Knowles, by Russell Brand, by Victor David Hansen, who is like one of the smartest people alive. So just saying, it's not just us telling you, it's a whole bunch of people saying this is the company for you. Get help, get it through zapmydebt.com. And thank you, Alexandra, who says, happy Dad Joke Wednesday. She says, I went to the aquarium this weekend, but I didn't stay long. There's something fishy about that place.
Oh my God, it is Dad Joke Wednesday.
I totally forgot that it was Dad Joke Wednesday.
I totally forgot it was Wednesday. It's Dad Joke Wednesday, you guys. Cheers.
You know why? Because we've had so many long shows. And today is going to be another long show.
We cannot escape the news cycle, you guys.
We just can't. Somebody commented, I think it was on YouTube, that they were like, I really miss the TikToks. And I was like, I promise they'll be back.
I know.
If we could just get everything to slow down.
Yeah. So they'll be back in 2025. They're coming back, you guys. Sometime.
I do have a few, but like, it's not like it was, right? Like, it's not where I share my screen. I know, you guys. How's your weather?
It's good today. It's fine. This morning, it's at least right now, it's good. I'm so sorry about that yesterday, you guys. It just rolled right in here and it was like, nope, we're done here. We're done with this.
You don't get to stay connected.
Right.
Curio23 says, this morning Siri said, don't call me Shirley. I accidentally left my phone in airplane mode. Get it?
I do get it. I do. I get it because of the movie. Yes, I do.
All right, let's get into things and stuff because there's a lot of things and stuff to get to. And first, we obviously have to recognize the super stickers and Venmos that we didn't get to yesterday, including these from Dixie Bama, who said Keith Ellison did not have an active law license when he ran for and became the AG of Minnesota, which is wild to me, but okay.
He identified as one. He just identified as an AG.
Dixie also said that Cheadle is in telling squat. Meanwhile, Bibi standing alone on a tarmac. No president, vice president, secretary of state. Some guy from the rental car place showed up, it looked like. What is going on?
Yeah, there's just like, who is running the country? You know?
And if you're a Jewish person, what are you thinking voting for these clowns?
And there are so many that do.
I know. I will never understand it.
I don't either.
We'll never understand it. Tomorrow also going to be a long show. You know why? Because we're going to have to deal with, let me first say thank you to Babe 1983. Trump points out their incompetence with proof. They only continue to lie about who he is, even after proof of things being false. They have gone back to verbiage that incites violence and hate. Mm-hmm. And then Philippe Move said, hello, chicks. As a South American, seeing you guys from far, can I ask you why the women on the left all look like dirty hags? In contrast, the chicks on the right are wholesome and beautiful like you two.
That's sweet.
Oh my God. The narrow way disciple says that the vice president won't invoke the 25th. She should not be elected. There's actually now an impeachment process. Somebody's filing articles of impeachment against her, which I think is a huge waste of time, but that is the thing that's happening.
It is dumb.
And FFS Jenny O says, this TikTok shit about Kamala made me roll my eyes so hard I literally almost dislodged a contact lens. Trying to work here. You're killing me, Mock. Sorry. And then the reason for our long show tomorrow is because President Biden is going to be giving an address tonight. So first of all, he tweeted, or his account tweeted yesterday, that he is super grateful to Kim Cheadle for her decades of public service. I couldn't believe there was any thanks.
I know. I was
addressed this.
That just disgusted me yesterday. It's like,
so gross.
Listen, you are completely inept at your job. You suck in every way possible. You obfuscated all question. You were just horrible in that hearing. But thanks so much for your service. Thanks a lot. You've been great.
Courage and integrity to take responsibility. Oh my God. It was the worst. And she has destroyed the American people's trust in that entire organization.
Yeah. He should have fired her personally. He should have been the one to do it. And the only reason he didn't is because Jill's the one who got her the job.
And it's because he's weak AF.
Yeah. Weak and pathetic.
Oh my God. But he is going to be addressing the nation. He said this on his official POTUS account that tomorrow evening at 8 p.m., meaning today, I will address the nation from the Oval Office on what lies ahead and how I will finish the job for the American people.
Okay. What are you going to drive us completely over the cliff, dude? Because we are teeter-tottering on that cliff. Okay.
Well, and apparently a sneak peek of that address has just been leaked. Parentheses, this is AI.
And my fellow Americans.
Over the past few days, there has been a lot of speculation that I was dead. I'm here to say in no uncertain terms that is totally retarded. I just needed a few days at my Delaware beach house to eat, sleep, good, repeat. One last thing. I want to wish a very, very special fuck you to George Clooney. Worst fucking Batman ever. George looked disgusting.
He really was.
Protruding in his bat suit. Very, very disrespectful. Miss me with that gay shit. Bye now.
It's true. He really was the worst Batman ever. Was he not?
God.
Because he can only play himself. Let's get
right.
Real.
Exactly.
George
exactly.
Awful actor.
We have been speculating and talking about whether or not it's appropriate for Trump to do a debate with Kamala, considering that they pulled the old switcheroo on him at the last minute. And so he easily has plenty of excuses to just not even give her that platform. But Trump is very, very much interested in having more than one debate with Kamala. So he was asked yesterday by Bill Melugin if he's willing to commit. And he said, absolutely, I want to more than one.
I think that would be awesome.
Yeah. So
I can't wait to see it. I'm curious as to who JD Vance is going to be debating.
Yeah, I would like to know that as well.
Be really nice to know that. I guess they're going to have to come up with some sort of a process, since Obama is fundamentally transforming the process that we already have in place, since they're a bunch of commies and they don't care about the American process that's already in place.
I mean, democracy, schmamocracy.
Who cares about that? I mean, it's okay, whatever. Okay.
Will of the people, schmill of the people. We got delegates we got to please.
We're just going to circumvent that and then scream at you guys about saving democracy when we're literally shitting all over it. Okay. Okay.
Trump also tweeted yesterday, lying Kamala Harris, the Biden-appointed border czar who never visited the border and whose incompetence gave us the worst and most dangerous border anywhere in the world, has absolutely terrible poll numbers against a fine and brilliant young man named Donald J. Trump. Be careful what you wish for, Democrats, MAGA 2024, when in fact Trump is now behind her in the polls, spelled POLLS. Yes. So this is the kind of Trump that I don't want to come back. Thank you, but no. Can we just not do this again?
Somebody proofread it. Just somebody on a staff proofread it before it goes out, because the poll, just because you can't spell poll. Yeah. It's not the kind of pole that a stripper gets on. It's the pole that you go, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's that.
Now, it is expected that she is going to see a bump. I mean, she's obviously the hot news of the day. I don't think that is going to last, especially if and when they get to a debate. He's got so many things that she has said to be able to pin on her with her radical ideas. And we have a whole bunch of new montage of some of the Kamala stuff that I'd forgotten all about it. Some of her really radical ideas are on full display on video. That is not going away. And that's the stuff that our side will need to hammer her on.
And her record.
That's what I'm saying.
She doesn't have one. I mean, it's like if he just focuses on that and the fact that she's been an epic failure in every single way, like this. I mean, he's right, even though he spelled poll wrong. It's right.
The border. Yeah, the border, and the fact that they're trying to say, oh, she was never the borders are. We'll get to that too.
Bullshit.
Because that's oh my God, the gaslighting is up full storm again.
Oh my God.
It's just ridiculous.
Totally.
Donald Trump, by the way, since nobody else in the current administration is going to bother, he will be meeting with Bibi on Friday at Mar-a-Lago. And good for him for doing that, because what an embarrassment this administration is.
It is. It's gross. And it's like, it goes back to the whole why any Jewish people would ever want to vote for Democrats. Are they just blatantly anti-Semitic?
I mean...
How
else do you explain that?
This is the thing. And that's another thing that Trump can say. What are you doing? What are you doing? And what does this say to this whole demo of people? And you know what? I feel like those guys are kind of old. They're old friends. He and Bibi.
Totally. I mean, Trump did more for Middle East tensions and Middle East peace than any other president really in almost history, because think about the Abraham Accords. Think about all the countries that were actually starting to establish relations with Israel under his watch. And then think about what it looks like today.
Totally. Yeah. And he and Bibi are cut from the same cloth. Let's just get real.
Yeah, for sure. George Clooney has officially endorsed Kamala.
Of course. Who gives a crap, though, who he endorses? Why do we care? So funny. Isn't it fun? Like, why do we even care who George Clooney endorses? It's so funny that people pay attention to this stuff. Like, what has he done? His profession is pretending to be other people. That's what he does for a living.
Yeah.
Okay, go away now. Take all the seats, George. Nobody cares.
And if you weren't already scared enough of how radical Kamala is, here is what Jason Miller is hearing from insiders about who she would have in her cabinet. Elizabeth Warren,
oh my God,
potentially for Treasury. Bernie Sanders for Homeland Security.
Why?
I'm sorry, Health and Human Services, not Homeland Security. Health and Human Services.
God.
And then AOC for Defense.
I'm sorry.
What is happening? We'll never survive. We will never survive.
Oh my God, a bartender. Let's just put a bartender in there for defense. Yeah, we'd be so effed, man.
Oh my God.
What a disaster.
Yeah. And the press already out of control with their ridiculous coverage of Kamala. So Nate says this is what journalism is going to look like for the next 3 months. We're talking a CNN reporter and a BBC reporter talking about what Kamala wears and what she ordered for dinner.
Mm-hmm. Of course. Because
oh my God.
Right. And I saw it all day yesterday. Daily Mail, Page 6, all of the regular characters, right? Were out in full force, just talking her up. What was the phrase that we talked about yesterday? That was the Gen Z phrase they were using about her?
Brat.
Yeah. They were running with that. They were running with everything about how, even the way that they've made her look. Yeah. They're trying to make her even look better. The pictures that they're using, they're trying to make her look prettier. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. They're making her look better than she actually does. She's not going to look like the 60-year-old woman that she looks like. It's everybody, you guys. It's crazy how they all just rally. It's like they did get their marching orders and they are running with it. It's so gross. It's such propaganda. Like we are legit living in China now. It's crazy.
And it was so predictable. Right?
Yes.
It's just vile. I mean, it is just vile. And in fact, somebody, there was a comment about the media. This guy, Paul, said, good point by Oliver Darcy here. If the media was truly in the tank for Biden, as conservatives have long insisted, how do you explain the avalanche of negative coverage and commentary after June 27th that helped drive him from the race? And as always, AG nailed it, saying, ridiculous spin. This isn't complicated. The media is in the tank for Democrats, not Biden specifically. They only started aggressively covering him when it became clear he was going to lose to Trump in order to pressure him to drop out. And that they succeeded. They helped get him out.
Of course they did. I mean, the media like licks the butts of Democrats. This is what they do. They are all in bed together. Oh, I love you. That's what they do. It's gross. This is why it's a propaganda machine. We are just like China now. It's gross.
Zach, our friend Zach Abraham is from Bulwark Capital Management, is going to have another special inflation live seminar July 25th. This is tomorrow. It is happening at 3:30 Pacific time. And this is about inflation specifically being the silent killer of your financial portfolio. So if you are planning a retirement ever, this matters to you. And I'm sure that impacts literally everybody here. If you have not attended one of Zach's amazing seminars, please do not miss out on the opportunity because it's great information. There's no obligation. It's free. You don't have to pay anything. It's free to attend. You can get your questions answered. It's all fantastic information. Investment advisory services are offered through Trek Financial LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. They involve risk and are not guaranteed. Past performance does not guarantee future results. Trek 24244. Get to know knowyourriskradio.com is how you sign up. It's knowyourriskradio.com. Do not miss it tomorrow. All right. What else do we have in this little montage of headlines? Yeah, this is just a good reminder. We've been reminding you all week. But do not underestimate Kamala and the billions in earned media that the mainstream media is about to use to reinvent her. We're already seeing it. You just watched Democrats remove Joe Biden from his own campaign
because he was losing.
They will do anything to keep power. This is absolutely positively right. It cannot be stated enough. And in fact, there's now reports about how exactly he was blackmailed from into dropping out because apparently top Democrats, Pelosi included, were threatening to remove him with the 25th Amendment. This is according to the New York Post, and that the debate was actually a setup so that they could forcibly remove him. They purposefully, apparently, did not prepare him well. And again, according to Politico, Nancy Pelosi threatened him that they could do this the easy way or the hard way, and she gave him 3 weeks of the easy way. It was about to be the hard way, which would have been the 25th Amendment. So those Democrats are ruthless.
I believe all of this.
Absolutely ruthless. I do too.
I believe every single bit of this. Yeah. They're absolutely ruthless. Yeah. And he was like, I'm not up and leaving. And they're like, you're going to leave. Yeah. And he served no purpose to them anymore. And so they discarded him. This is what they do.
Yeah.
It's just gross.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Absolutely
they are
disgusting. And don't forget, Kamala is intensely unlikable, even to her own staff. According to the Federalist, one staffer said, it's clear you're not working with somebody who's willing to do the prep and the work. With Kamala, you have to put up with a constant amount of soul-destroying criticism and her own lack of confidence. So you're constantly sort of propping up a bully, and it's not really clear why. This is why she's got such huge turnover.
Yeah.
She's putting on a good show, but
she's dumber. I don't know how they do it. She's dumber than a stick. She's dumb. And you're right. And I don't think she does have any confidence. I mean, we talked about that yesterday where she had somebody that had to take her through a mock dinner before she went to an actual dinner because she doesn't have the confidence to go to a dinner. So that is alarming. You can't have somebody like that be the president of the United States.
And it's so weird because then she'll show up at, like she did this Wisconsin rally yesterday. We've got a little clip of that coming up, but she's all kinds of confident. So it's like,
well, she appears that way.
Yeah, I mean, she's good at faking it, but then in other situations, she's terrible at faking it. So like, I don't know. I never know which version of Kamala we're going to get. Right now, I think we're getting the very well scripted Kamala, but you've seen her in interviews. She is awful.
She's useless. Yeah, completely useless. Yeah. And then she's incompetent. I think that's what, at the end of the day, she doesn't know. I think she feels like she has, imposter syndrome. And she's right. She's absolutely, because she's not equipped to do the job.
Well, you're going to hear later in the show that is racist of you to say.
Oh, so. Okay. Well, I mean, I've been called that before. So surprise.
Harry Sisson, I know you love him.
This kid.
I wanted to make sure he showed up on Defiant L's yesterday because back in July, back in September of last year, he said, yes, Joe Biden is old, but his age isn't affecting his ability to lead at all. And then, of course, now this month, he's saying Donald Trump is too old to be president. He's 78. I don't think he'll be able to serve effectively for 4 years. I'm sure MAGA would agree with this assessment, right?
So this kid, I guess they took all the money that the Biden campaign was giving him. God, who does this kid have sex with to get this job?
Oh my
honestly?
God, please don't. Please stop. Don't do that.
Seriously,
Why?
This kid, he has sold his soul. Honestly, his parents must be really proud. So I wonder who, I guess they just transfer all that money and they say, okay, now the Kamala campaign is going to pay you to spew all this bull crap on your Twitter not Twitter, TikTok. Because that's what he did. He's just all on TikTok, spewing all the bull crap to all the little kiddos. That's what he does. I know. I'm sorry. It's too early, Kim. I'm sorry. Talking about Harry having sex with whoever. But this is the thing. This kid is he has no soul. None. Yeah. He's just doing all this for money. That's all he does. I don't even think he believes any of this stuff. He doesn't know what he believes. He's so young. What is he, 20 years old, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure he falls into that 18 to 24-year-old age category that Kamala has said out loud is stupid. And she doesn't think that they make good decisions. So
yeah, I know. And they're the ones who are she's brat or whatever. She's so great. She's awesome. I love her. I'm going to vote for her. Yeah, I think I posted that clip on our Instagram yesterday about how she called that age group stupid. And that's another thing. The RNC, the Trump campaign, they need to take those clips and they need to just pummel people with all of those clips. Because listen, audio, video lives forever. The internet lives forever.
There's a reason she did so poorly in the Democrat primaries. It's because of her super radical liberal stances, which she made very clear as she was running, and people rejected it for a reason. Yeah. So anyway,
plus she's unlikable. She's severely unlikable. Yeah. I remember when Tulsi spanked her.
Yeah, it was so great. Yeah. That's like an unforgettable moment. It was glorious. Also, apropos of absolutely nothing, I learned a new word. You guys have seen, and of course we've all learned the word brat this week in relation to this campaign. Yes. But have you guys have all seen those super morbidly obese people who eat on camera and they have zillions of followers because of it? People like watching them stuff their faces, which I will never, ever, ever, ever understand. But this is the thing. This is the thing. And it has a name. So here's the name I learned, because one of these weirdos died during a live stream because her stomach ruptured during her 10-hour food binge.
God, gross.
And this whole trend is called mukbang.
Oh my God. That's what it's called. That word is gross.
Right?
Yeah.
Everything about this trend is disgusting.
It is disgusting.
Obviously super dangerous, and people should stop doing it and stop following it. Stop giving these weirdos an audience. You are helping kill them.
Well, I mean, I feel that way about Hawk Tuah. So I do. I honestly do.
Is she still a thing?
Yeah, she did a song. She came out with a song yesterday.
Did she sing?
Some other girl is playing the keyboards and singing, and then she's in the background. God. And it's for her grandmother to explain what Hawk Tuah means.
Oh no.
This is the thing. This is our culture, man. It's we reward this weird, disgusting, just off-putting behavior. This is what we do.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, I don't like any of it. I don't. Yeah. I'm trying to raise a good girl, you know?
We have a lot of super stickers to recognize. Bearcat Nan over on Locals said, if Trump will concentrate on talking about the failures of the Democrats' platform versus his successes as president, it will come across much better than starting the personal name calling and bashing Kamala nonstop, in my opinion. Absolutely agree with that.
Leave the personal bashing to us.
Right.
Okay.
We're your girls.
We're your huckleberries. That's right.
Dolly Duck said, so the Dems are polishing their turd, but it'll still be a turd. Here's your dad joke. I hate spelling errors. You mix up 2 letters and your whole post is urined.
That's good.
Get it?
Yeah.
Before I don't see it anymore, over on Venmo, Connie says, good morning, chicks. My eyes aren't so good anymore. What is on Daisy's closet doorknob?
It's a hat. It's another baseball cap. Mm-hmm. Okay. I have them everywhere. This is how I look during the day. Sorry, guys.
Puzzled 80 says, conversation in car with my boys ages 9 to 12. The 9-year-old sees a Biden-Harris sign. What's a Harris? Me. That's the vice president's last name. The 12-year-old. That's the lady that talks a bunch but doesn't make any sense. The 9-year-old. Oh, yeah. She's the one that is like watching a try not to laugh YouTube video. She says, I about cried laughing. 9 and 12-year-old boys get it. Raising strong conservative children over here. Good job.
Love that.
Gerber said, what do you call a hippie's wife? Mrs. Hippie.
I see what you did there.
Math Nerd Knitter says the RNC needs to reach out to former Kamala staffers and do an ad campaign based on the BS they had to deal with.
Yes.
Awesome.
They probably signed non-disclosures, like really, really huge, long NDAs. Yeah.
Although, you know what, the top of the Daily Mail today was a person who was one of the press reporters on Joe Biden's team. And now she's written this giant expose about how sick he was. And I'm just like, now you're doing this? Screw you. You know what I mean? Where were you when we needed you to actually break this news that we all could see with our own eyes?
And she'll probably still vote Democrat. Lockstep. You know?
God. Teresa Raimundo says, why should you never throw grandpa's false teeth at a vehicle? You might dent your car.
I see what you did there. Very good. Very dad-like. Very
Sandra
good.
Sandra Newport says to your friend that she should read Tulsi and JD Vance's books.
Okay. If you're listening, it's a great suggestion.
Aaron Powers says, what did Spartacus say when the lion ate his wife? Nothing. He was a gladiator.
I don't know if I get that one. Do I get that one? Okay.
Am I saying it wrong?
Gladiator.
His wife. He was a gladiator.
Maybe
it means like he was gay. Maybe it was supposed to be GLAAD. Isn't that the gay and lesbian?
I don't know.
I don't either. Sorry, Aaron.
Okay. Sorry.
We're not hip with your jive.
We're not hip.
Alexander says, who won the neck decorating contest? It was a tie. Curio 23. I stayed at a hotel that tried to charge me $10 extra for air conditioning. That wasn't cool. Teresa Raimundo says that Trump may have meant poll ironically because of heels up Harris.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
I think that's giving him a little too much credit, but if you want to believe that, you go right ahead.
Absolutely.
John Baldwin says all Kamala needs now is charisma, intelligence, humor, a new wardrobe. Those pantsuits suck. They look polyester. Cheers, cuties. Daisy, love the leopard cap.
Oh, thank you. You guys, I have in my shirt. Look, my shirt. Save the American Rancher. Just for everybody. Make sure you buy local.
Leah says Trump is not just meeting with Bibi, he's also meeting with 2 of the returned and rescued women hostages. Love that.
Yes.
Love it. Beach Suji says, what do you call a lonely cheese? Provolone. Provolone. Sometimes I'm alone.
Sometimes I'm not. Hello.
MJ Homestead living our dream says all I can say is my Patriot Supply should be in your favorites. Start preparing people. You have until November. We're in trouble, girls. Karen Elliott says the The only thing that can save us is getting on our knees and praying to God, because the demons are busy making it look like Kamala is their savior. They kept her looking stupid to not outshine Joe. Interesting.
No, I think she's actually stupid.
Michael Steller says, imagining the cackle laugh from Kamala while she negotiates with Putin scares me. It should scare everyone.
Mm-hmm. Well, based on her dealings with Bibi, I just think that she'll not do it. She just won't talk to world leaders.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I mean,
that's her strategy, is just
avoidance.
Avoid.
It's just avoidance, you guys, which is not going to be helpful. I think she's scared.
Connie says, thank you for telling her that it was a hat on your door. Julie Tyler says, dad joke, my company plans to lay off the person with the worst posture. I have a hunch it's me.
These are good ones, you guys.
Very pretty good ones. Queen Bee says Kamala is supposed to meet with Bibi, right? Yeah, that it was supposed to be a closed door meeting, apparently, that got postponed and then canceled and rescheduled. And who knows if it's actually going to happen.
She's chicken crap, you know?
Paula Gray says he's not having sex with anyone. They're just giving him a lifetime supply of socks.
Yeah, I could see that. He seems like he's probably more asexual, don't you think?
I didn't know who she was talking about for a minute because I'd already put Harry Sisson out of my brain. So I was like, who is she referring to? Shannon Pope says, why is Darth Vader also called Lord Vader? Because the stormtroopers couldn't stop giggling when he was called Master Vader. Take my money, balls. Layla's Life says, why are two artichokes romantic? Because it's two hearts coming together. I know, really bad artichoke. Happy Wednesday.
That's cute.
And then, okay, this Trucker 20.
Glad he ate her. Yeah, I've seen like a million people have said that after the fact, and I feel kind of bad that we were not getting it.
Sorry,
it's early. I need another cup of coffee. Right. We're trying to do some news here, you guys. Hello.
And now it's going to be a especially long show because you guys have been way too generous. Math Nerd Knitter also clarified the gladiator thing. Okay, let's get to the things and the stuff. So Biden finally made his appearance yesterday. Everybody was like, is he dead? Is he alive? Laura Loomer was already saying that there were definite reports that they were planning his last rites, essentially. Just a reminder, if you're listening to Laura Loomer, you're absolutely out of your mind.
How does she back
on that hill?
How does she dial that back? How do you do that?
I have no idea.
What do you do with that?
Stand her. But he did make it his appearance, and this is the first that people saw of him right here.
Mr. President, how are you feeling? Mr. President, how are you feeling?
I'm not dead yet.
How are you feeling since you dropped out of the race, sir? How are you feeling about Harris's campaign? Can Harris beat Trump?
Oh my God. He can't hear you. He cannot hear you. Quit screaming at him.
So there he was.
Yeah.
He is alive. He's alive.
He's alive. Yeah.
And now you're about to get gaslit really, 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 really hard. So Chuck Schumer, just with great gusto, endorsed Kamala yesterday. And before we show you that clip, which is absolutely hilarious, you need to hear him answer a question about the fact that Biden was essentially pushed out. And is that really a democratic process that they use to do it? They are actually trying to use the word for Kamala getting bottoms up support, which would imply that people voted for her, which they did not. No one has. And so for them to even use that language is so gaslighty. Like, nobody should tolerate this.
Yeah.
And if you are, you're just a sheep. I don't know what else to tell you, but listen to Chuck Schumer.
I know you said that this was a bottom-up process.
He's so evil. Oh my God.
The Vice President of the United States, there was no other competition. This is going to be selected by party delegates, insiders, essentially. What's your case to the American people and to the Democratic voters that voted for Joe Biden that this isn't a coronation?
The bottom line, it was a bottom-up process. People just rallied right to her side. The enthusiasm in this big, diverse, representative party was amazing. It was palpable. You could cut it with a knife.
The dumbest ass answer I've ever heard. It was palpable, you guys. You could cut it with a knife.
You told your voters who they're going to have.
Right.
That's what happened.
People are like But wait, we didn't do that. We didn't do that, Chuck. I mean, that guy should be twirling a mustache and going, that's basically him. God, he's evil and he lies. And then they have the audacity to scream at us about how they're saving democracy.
Right.
It's
if you want to see the dumbest people in the world, look at the people that are now going to attend Kamala rallies.
Right.
They have literally just thrown their votes away and fallen in line like the good sheep they are.
Right.
I mean,
lobotomized sheep who are like, we're saving democracy. Really? Are you? Okay. Thumb up the ass. All right. They have no idea what it is. They have no idea. Our founders are spinning in their graves. Spinning. Oh my God.
A reporter also asked him if he himself asked Biden to step aside, and he dances around that answer.
A number of conversations with the president over the last several weeks. He went up to Delaware. That was described as a bit of an emotional meeting of sorts. I'm wondering,
oh my God,
did you ever personally ask him not to run for re-election?
Look, what I would say is that the president has done an amazing job as president, one of the best we've ever had. And he put his country first and made the right decision. Thank you, everybody.
No, that's bullcrap. It was a coup. You forced him out. It was a literal coup. If he did a great job and he was amazing, then he would have been winning. He would have been doing great in the polls. Y'all would have kept him in there. The whole reason that you forced him out is because he sucked and he was losing, and you were like, oh shit, we got to get him out of here, which is why you forced him out and you shoved Kamala in there in an undemocratic way. Like these people are unbelievable to watch.
And they're just going to keep trying to tell you this whole new story, which is utter nonsense. But probably the best Chuck Schumer moment was when he announced his enthusiasm for Kamala, and it was not reciprocated.
That the process is played out from the grassroots bottom up. We are here today to throw our support behind Vice President Kamala Harris. I'm clapping. You don't have to.
God, how awkward. How awkward. I'm clapping. You don't have to. Oh my God, what a doofus. He's so evil.
Oh my God. That was
such an
amazing.
Evil doofus.
Hakeem Jeffries was standing right beside him, also there to offer Kamala support and to call Joe Biden a hero, because now that he did exactly what they wanted him to do, now they're going to prop him up, right? Because he's out of the way, and now they want to preserve his legacy. They're not going to be able to erase our memories that they have been propping up a demented, senile fool as president for the last 3.5 years. Right. We will not forget, but here's Hakeem doing his best to try to make us.
Joe Biden is a patriotic American.
Really?
Joe Biden is a heroic American. Joe Biden is a great American. Joe Biden will go down in American history as one of the most consequential presidents of all time.
No.
Vice President Harris has earned the nomination.
Nope.
How?
Nope.
From the grassroots up and not top down.
Not the top down.
Not. He's literally like standing there like Will Smith in Men in Black with that little memory eraser, and he's trying to like change everybody's memory of actually what happened. Dude, it's not going to work. Like, we know. But then again, I guess there's so many Democrat voters out there that are like, yeah, she earned it.
She earned it from me personally.
She earned it.
Oh my God.
She earned it. Like,
oh my God.
It's just, what is happening? I can't. And if you guys, could you imagine if Republicans pulled this shit? Could you imagine what would be happening right now? Like, everybody at MSNBC and CNN, their heads would be exploding. Well, everybody, even Fox. I mean, seriously, everybody would be like, wait, this is not how things are done. But since they have the media in their pocket, they're like, oh no, this is the way we've always done it. It's the way we've always done it, you guys. It's fine. It's fine. She earned it. No, she didn't. She did not earn this.
No, not even a little bit. And it's all been, the whole thing with Biden, as we know, as we've always known, has been completely covered up. It's the reason, part of the reason that they've filed articles of impeachment against Kamala is because they're saying she was involved in a massive cover up of Joe Biden's extent of his cognitive decline. So CNN, or one of the stations, I don't even know who, asked Chris Coons if he too, because any Democrat is going to be accused of being part of the cover up. And what does he say to that?
Kamala Harris knew that President Biden wasn't up to 4 more years. I mean, they would say that about you, I think, as well. And they're going to allege a cover up. They're going to say she knew, she covered it up. How do you answer that charge, considering what we have seen transpire over the last month?
First, I think it's BS. Second, I don't think it's particularly relevant. I never saw any episode or incident with Joe Biden as we saw on that debate stage. I don't think that there is a huge cover-up underway here. And I frankly don't think that matters to the discussion and the debate going forward.
I'm surprised he didn't matter. I'm surprised he didn't start crying.
Well, we've known him
such a crier.
To do that, for sure. My God. I mean, this is what it feels like to be completely gaslit. So just get used to it, because it's going to be the next 4 months of this. We're going to see nothing but this.
It's like, oh no, he didn't have dementia. He's at no time has he ever shown signs of like having dementia. He's
perfectly capable of serving out his term.
Totally. Absolutely. I mean, he actually was bending over to get quarters off the ground, you guys. He wasn't falling.
Yeah, those weren't falls.
It's fine, you guys. It's always fine.
Judy Flood says, good morning. Thank you very much. Bryzer says, I've had people tell me that they voted for, I'm not even going to say how he referred to Kamala. I've had people tell me they voted for Kamala when they voted for Joe. They voted for Kamala when they voted for Joe. Okay, that's the excuse they're going to use, is that, well, she was part of the administration. So
she was on the ticket.
Essentially, yeah, she was on the ticket, and that's lame, but okay. Math Nerd Knitter says Biden is extremely consequential and not in a good way. That's absolutely right. Don Quixote says, what's the difference between a hippo and a Zippo? The hippo is about 4,000 pounds. The Zippo is a little lighter. A little lighter.
I get it.
Donnell Elsner says he was glad he ate her. Yes, we've got that cleared up. Mindy Doherty says, what kind of shoes do chickens wear? Reebok, bok. Take my money. Decomposing Man says, I have a stepladder at home. I never knew my real ladder. Take my money, balls, all the things. That's a good one. Teresa says, I'm surprised they could find a knife after all the ones they stuck in Joe's back. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'd love to know what deals were made behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Like, what did Jill get? What did Hunter get? You know, they all got so many good deals. Oh my God.
Diane Den Hartog says, what kind of shoes do chickens wear? Reebok, bok. So that's the same one. Brandy Benton says, hi, ladies. Do you find it ironic the announcement of Biden no longer running for president happened on National Ice Cream Day?
Oh, love my gosh. I did not know that.
Ariane Hamblin Smith says, BLM is saying this isn't a democratic process. We'll get to that. Living in New Tampa and Wesley Chapel says, dailywire.com has a 3-part series called Scamala. Very enlightening. Sending hugs from Florida. Interesting. We'll have to check that out for sure. And thank you, Stephanie, for the super sticker. Appreciate it. Okay. So KJP, she hasn't done a presser in a week, which is it's incomprehensible when that is her job, to be the spokesperson for the president, especially a president who didn't bother to show his face in 5 straight days. But she decided, instead of having a presser, she was going to go on The View instead. And it's
unbelievable.
Infuriating. Absolutely infuriating. So here is the first clip. This is on how Biden is feeling. They want to know how he's feeling.
Does Joe feel betrayed by any of that, or does he understand that it was for the country also?
I mean, look, he's going to speak tomorrow. We'll hear from him directly, and I think he'll address whatever is on his heart. Like you said, he has a big heart.
Yeah.
He understands where people are. He understands having done this 36 years as a senator, 8 years as vice president, and now almost 4 years as president. He gets it. He gets where we are as a country.
Does he
ever has like a normal conversation with people? Or is it always press secretary mode?
Probably always press secretary. This is why she's alone. Because you know, like,
talk to her wife.
You probably talked to her wife exactly like that. because she'd be like her wife or ex-wife was like, listen, you need to go to the store this afternoon and get cereal. And she'd be like, let me be clear. Look,
here's what I would say to that.
Yeah, exactly. She never was clear when she was saying she was going to be clear. And then her ex-wife was like, I'm out of here, biatch. I can't. Mm-hmm.
Alyssa Farah did ask the question, which needed to be asked, which is, hey, you haven't been very transparent
or clear.
And if in fact Biden he's not well enough to run, how is he well enough to lead? Mm-hmm. And the answer is just complete gaslighting.
Well, thank you for being back and in person. So listen, there have been a lot of criticisms about if the White House was transparent enough about Biden's health in the months leading up to the debate. But now calls have gone further, including vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance saying if he's not up to serving 4 more years, can he serve out the rest of his term? How do you respond to that?
I think that's ridiculous. Seriously.
He's ridiculous.
Not me. But what I will say is, like, the president decided to not run for re-election. That's it. Mm-hmm. That's all he decided on. He wants to continue to do the work. 3.5 years of unprecedented historic work. Mm-hmm. I think that shows what he's capable of doing. Mm-hmm. I think that shows how important his leadership is. And moments ago, I talked about how he was able to reach across the aisle and do things in bipartisanship in the political environment that we're in. Yeah. We have so much more work to do, and he understands that. He's going to speak to this in about 24 hours or so, and he'll lay that out. But this president is ready to continue to lead this country in a historic way, and that is stands.
I want to ask you.
He's never led. He's never led. He's never been the guy actually doing the work. And there's no work that's been done except for like seriously pushing us off a cliff. Everything's been a disaster. It's been a complete dumpster fire since he took the helm, and he's not even at the helm. It's Obama. We all know that. He's just a puppet. He can't do anything. He's always on vacation. He's always like at the beach or like in the basement or whatever, eating ice cream. He's not the guy. It's Obama.
Well, and now the story is going to be what? I mean, if you read his letter, there was no real reason. He just decided to get out. There was nothing behind that decision. He just made the decision. That's all. That's the story they're going with.
It's unbelievable.
We have a video of Biden from literally 9 days ago screaming, "I'm not getting out.
Right. I'm not up and leaving. Not up and leaving." Yeah, and Jill too. His whole family was like, "We're not budging." And all the people that were on his team, team was all over the place. His PR team was like, "We're not leaving. This is ridiculous. Of course he's going to be he's the guy. Like we're all in." And then it's just a couple days later they forced him. It was a coup. That's what it was. They forced him out. And then they're like, "Oh, he's a patriot. He's so great. It's like he's awesome. He's done such great work. Oh my God, he's just the greatest thing since sliced bread." Really? We know the truth. You cannot bullshit a bullshitter. Okay. Like oh my God, these people are unreal. The stuff they try to pull on the American people. And yeah, there may be half the country that believes this garbage, but the other half, we know how to think critically. We did it during COVID. We can do it now.
Mm-hmm. Andrea says the commies are in the White House. Wake up. Yep. Yeah. Jose says the left is stealing an election from their own party. I hope they get called out for it. Also, Elon and X will not block the right's messaging as it did in 2020. That alone could be huge. That's a great point. And thank God for Elon. Thank God for Elon.
I know, right?
Karen Elliott says the destruction is unprecedented. They mean it. And Bryzer says, what did the nosy pepper do? Get jalapeno business. He says that's to make up for the Kamala comment.
It's the delivery that gets me. Mocking her delivery. the head tilts.
I do love a good pun, as you know.
She really does.
So I never, ever thought I would be promoting in any way or agreeing with in any way anything that the organization Black Lives Matter says ever, but they are pissed off about how this has all gone down. And they are actually right about this. They give the timeline of events of exactly what has happened. And they said a 24-hour process of talking to party bosses is not democratic, nor is it a process Democrats should be proud of. We do not live in a dictatorship. Delegates are not oligarchs. installing Kamala as the Democratic nominee and an unknown vice president without any public voting process would make the modern Democrat Party a party of hypocrites. We call on the DNC to create a process that allows for public participation in the nomination process, not just a nomination by party delegates.
I'm surprised by this. I'm surprised.
I am too.
Because they're stunned. Right, because they're open Marxists.
And black. I mean,
yeah,
you know what I mean? You think that they would be all about, I mean, even though she's whatever, she's mixed race or whatever, you would think that they would be all in for her.
Yeah, you think. I mean, just between those two things. Yeah, I'm actually very shocked by this, that they're the organization that's going to come out and go, wait a second, this is not democratic. What the hell are you guys doing? I don't understand. I was shocked by this yesterday.
Same.
Just completely shocked. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's not that, I still hate them. I still think they're a complete scam organization.
Totally.
It's just that this was super notable because of who it is.
Yeah.
I was just what?
Because why would a Marxist organization care whether or not it's democratic? I don't understand. I don't understand.
That's a great point. The next little skit that you're going to see is, I promise, it's equal opportunity insults to every single person, Trump included, Kamala, Joe, everybody. It's actually really funny to me because it's somebody pretending to pitch a TV show based on our current politics. And it does just give you a real taste of how insane our world is right now. I think that you guys will appreciate it.
The structure of the story doesn't make sense.
How come?
I mean, there's an assassination attempt on the ex-president that he dodges, right? Then he comes out with an American flag, like liberty leading the people.
That's the inspiration.
So is he the hero?
No, he's running for his own gains and uses the attempt as nothing more than a publicity stunt.
So an antagonist?
Or protagonist. I mean, at least that's how he's viewed by the citizens, but the audience knows that he's an anti-hero.
Okay, so then the sitting president
yes
gets hit with the plague, a few days later decides he's not running. Is this an act of sacrifice for the hero?
No, it may seem like benevolence, but he's dropping out because his party recognizes his own weakness, and so would rather hold power by nominating someone else.
So it's not an altruistic act on his part?
Absolutely not. His hand was forced.
Making him another anti-hero?
Yes.
Okay, so the hero is the successor then, right? The vice president being set up to run for election?
Close. Optically, it may look like it. I mean, that's why we made the character a black woman, to really symbolize the overcoming of the odds, because who in this country has it harder than black women?
She can be part of the LGBT community.
And that will come in the next episode, but we really want to set her up as like a Joan of Arc, like a foil to her opposition.
But Joan of Arc was a hero, a martyr. And she's not.
No, she only got to her position through imprisoning her own community. She acts in her own self-interest as well.
Making her another anti-hero, so that's the problem. Who's the hero?
There is no hero.
There's no hero.
No. The story is not a comedy in a Shakespearean sense. It's a tragedy.
For who?
The citizens. They're forced to view these anti-heroes as heroes. That's the tragedy.
So the real antagonist
is the system itself.
Okay. Is there any comic relief?
Well, there's a candidate with a worm in his head.
Get the fuck out of my office.
That was awesome. It was really, really good.
I love that. I really
There's a candidate with a worm in his head.
Oh my goodness. Out of my office. Osuki says, 4 years ago, I decided not to cut my hair until we get the Communist Party regime out of the White House. It is below my waist right now. God. There are 4 months left until we find out whether or not I am changing my name to Rapunzel.
Oh so my gosh. I know, right? I wish mine would grow that much.
Same.
Awesome.
TNT Alma said, my friend David had his ID stolen. Now he's just Dave. Get it? Because of the id.
I get it. Yeah, Dave. I get it.
I thought that was
the ID is gone.
Yeah, it's gone. Curio 23 says, what do you call a sleeping bull? A bulldozer. All right, let's get to some Kamala stuff because she is, she's the talk of the town and will be for the next several months. They're doing a lot of gaslighting, as we already mentioned. One of the ways that they're trying to gaslight is by insisting she was never border czar. Where are Republicans coming up with that idea?
I can't with these people. Oh my goodness.
And so Dana Bash, she's trying, you guys, but unfortunately there are receipts.
This is the kind of thing that is playing out all over conservative media. I just want to do a little bit of record correcting. There's not record crime right now. Number one, Harris was put in charge, as you said earlier, of combating the roots of immigration. She was not and is not the border czar.
And the Biden administration did task Vice President Kamala Harris with the issue of migrant crossings, naming her the so-called border czar.
I've asked her, the VP, today, because she's the most qualified person to do it, to lead our efforts with Mexico and the Northern Triangle and the countries that help. We're going to need help in stemming the movement of so many folks stemming the migration to our southern border.
Oh. We've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I don't understand the point that you're making.
She doesn't understand the point. She doesn't understand it.
He never understood the assignment. By the way, that was what? That was like a few months into Biden's presidency. And you could see how awful he already was. He was already unable to complete sentences.
Yeah. He wasn't running the country. It wasn't him. It's never been him.
It's never been him. Never been him. And by the way, this was just a few days ago that Allie Bradley said she confirmed that VP Border Czar Kamala Harris has not ever talked with Border Patrol Chief Jason Owens, who's been in the position for the past year. And the same goes for the guy that retired, who disclosed back in March that he did not have one conversation with Kamala during the 2 years that he held that position under the Biden administration.
It's unbelievable. Listen, Joe Biden didn't even know that his Secret Service director was a woman. Remember? I mean, these people don't know. Like, they don't know who's working underneath them. It's like being a CEO of a company and not knowing who reports to you. It's unacceptable. Get rid of them. But of course that never happens in the federal government, right? As we have seen.
No accountability ever.
None whatsoever. They don't know because they're not running the show, you guys. They've never been running the show. It's other people.
I did not do a good job at organizing this montage of stuff. So we're going to be skipping around a little bit. And I'm sorry for that. I realized it this morning because I tried to do this last night and I should not have. So it's going to be, we're going to talk about DEI and the fact that now if you call her a DEI candidate, you will automatically be slapped with a racist label. Like this is going to be another one of the main talking points, even though Joe Biden is the reason that she is called a DEI candidate, because he said, I'm going to get a black woman to be my VP.
Yep.
He said it. So we're just repeating what he did. And there's nothing wrong with it. But if you listen to Max Frost talk about it, it is basically the same as saying the N-word. That's how he actually thinks.
They want to call her a DEI president or DEI candidate. She has more experience than Trump and JD Vance combined times a million.
Okay, I just have to pause because Trump was the actual president. So no,
exactly.
She does not have more experience than him.
And business experience. Both of them together, they have business experience. That actually it matters to me because I don't give a crap what you've done as a federal employee. I'm sorry, I just don't anymore. That doesn't matter to me. I want to know what you've done in the real world. That's what matters to me. When I look at a candidate for president of the United States, that's why I liked Burgum. That's why, seriously, that matters to me because I want to know if you can run a company. If you can run a company, you can probably run a country, which is as evidenced by Trump a couple of years ago. He did it. He did it well. And he did it because he knew how to run, he knew how to start and run companies well. It matters.
Okay, so I'm sorry I interrupted him, but here is the rest of his crazy.
Right? She worked at the state level. She was the attorney general. She's vice president of the United States. She was a senator representing one of the largest states in the entire country. And so these are just racist dog whistles. Whenever you hear DEI, I want you to think about the N-word. I want you to think about racial slurs. That's what they actually mean.
I'm not going to think about that. I'm not. I'm not doing it. Listen, who's sick of this? Raise your hand. Who's sick of it? Who's sick of being called a racist? Raise your hand. I mean, it's like, we've been called racist for what, 15 years now? I'm tired of it. It doesn't even matter anymore. It just rolls right off me, dude. It mattered for like the first 2 years when we did this. It used to just kill me. And then it just stopped mattering. And that's your fault, you know, because you just kept calling me that. And now it doesn't even affect me. So it's sad that word means nothing to me now. And it's liberals' fault.
Terry 800 said, what did the psychiatrist say to his patients wrapped in saran wrap? I can clearly see your nuts. And Alexander says, excuse me while I say the most colorful words in Croatian under my breath. These sea witches have got to go. Also, it's pretty sexist that Democratic women don't vote on merit. I think that was in response to The View. Okay, so Brett Baer asked Chris Coons an interesting question, which was very simple. What do you think are Kamala's greatest accomplishments?
It's a great question.
It is a great question. And listen carefully, because when Brett is not on the screen, you're going to hear him say something while Chris Coons is trying to answer that question.
What do you think has been Vice President Harris's biggest accomplishment as vice president?
Well, look, I think she's done remarkable work across several important areas. Something that I think hasn't gotten much coverage is her passion for entrepreneurship, for wealth creation, for securing and stabilizing the middle class. She's traveled around the country to meet with small businesses and to talk with them about what it takes to get back to work, to grow a small business, to sustain the wealth and opportunity for a family.
Did you hear that?
She did that? She didn't do that. She didn't do that.
That's actually not a thing that happened.
Democrats hate small business owners. They hate them. We're small. We have a small business, Mock and I can tell you right now, Democrats have been terrible for small businesses.
Oh, they have.
They freaking hate us. Yeah.
Doug Emhoff, who stands to be the first gentleman, he wanted to talk about, he's such a cuck. You know what I mean? Like
that's a great word.
He's so wormy and like so
smarmy
and
he's just so soft.
He's not a man. You guys,
no, he's not. His face. Look at his face right there. Just look at it. Everybody look at it.
Take it in. He wanted to talk. I think this was like he was at like his own event or whatever, talking about reproductive health care. But he was talking in response to Joe and Kamala taking over the reins at that campaign rally the other day, and he's just glowing about Joe, and it's gross.
The enthusiasm, you see the excitement, you saw the money raised, you saw the party coalesce, you saw the broad base of support that she had in just 1 or 2 days, because she's talking about an America that we all have a place in. And that's why Kamala Harris, who I'm so proud of, I'm also so proud of the president. I got choked up yesterday in Wilmington when he called in. All of us did. What a great man. Love Joe Biden. But Kamala Harris has united the party. She's going to unite the country. She's going to earn this nomination. You see that happening, and she's going to win this election. Thank you.
He's just so
and he's like,
soft.
let me talk to you about your reproductive health care.
Right?
Let's all
gross.
Hey, women, let's sit down. Let's all talk about reproductive health care. Hi.
Just so gross.
He
creeps me out so bad.
He creeps me out too. I know he's so. It is gross. Just stop it. Just stop talking to me about my woman stuff. Just go away. You're creeping me out.
Connie said, what did the Bidens get in exchange for Joe pulling out? My guess is all of this praise for Joe, absolute pardon, and a shit ton of cash for Hunter, and Doc Jill will have a cabinet position, Secretary of Education. Oh my God, that's an interesting thought.
Yeah.
Have a fantastic Wednesday. Oh my God, that would be, oh my God.
I don't want to think about any of the, I don't want to think about any cabinet members on that side of the aisle. I just can't. I can't do it yet. I can't.
Well, just erase that from your brain, because now you have to be forced to see this.
Oh, great. Thanks. Is it crocheted?
What's that?
Is that crocheted?
Yes, she's super into crochet.
That's a crocheted bikini top.
Yeah, she's got like her own little fashion line of crocheted stuff.
She's like selling it on Etsy.
She raises money for terrorists, essentially, because UNRWA is not a charitable organization by any stretch.
Okay.
And also, like, what's wrong with her?
There's a lot wrong with her. Hi, I don't shave my armpits. I make crocheted bras for terrorists. I'm sure the terrorists would love those. The terrorists would really love to wear crocheted under things.
Why does she have a cake on her head?
Because she's a freak. Yeah, I can't.
You guys, why is she a model? I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to
because she's Kamala's stepdaughter. That's why.
But like, she is not at all an attractive person.
Okay, so let me get this straight. So she's Emhoff's daughter from a previous marriage. Correct. Is that what I'm getting at? Okay, so he actually had sex with another woman. Why and then they produced.
Why?
Because I'm your Huckleberry man. This is what I'm here for. This is what I'm here for, you guys. I bring it all up. Okay, you're welcome. So he had relations with another woman and created this person, so Kamala is her stepmother. Okay, so that's all
She's
right.
Kamala.
All right. Well, I mean, like Emhoff is her dad, which explains some stuff, right? Which is why she is the way she is. Right?
She looks demonic.
She's raising money for terrorists with crochet bras. Hello.
Just vile. Absolutely vile. Yeah. All right, let's wash our brains of that image too, because now we've got Governor DeSantis speaking the truth.
Governor, how does Kamala Harris now at the top of the ticket change this race?
Well, look, she's vacuous, incredibly liberal, and unaccomplished. And so, yes, she doesn't have dementia, but I think she's a lousy candidate. And I was surprised at how many Democrats rushed to endorse her. Remember, their convention's not for another month. And so it wouldn't surprise me if she face plants over the next 2 weeks that you'll start to hear calls from those power brokers to maybe go in a different direction. We'll see what happens. But the reality is she knew about Biden's condition this whole time because she's been vice president. She claims she works closely with him. Jesse, just me as a governor, I've been dealing with Biden on different events that have happened since he's been president. He's come down to Florida after hurricanes, and I could tell that he wasn't all there, and it's gotten a lot worse.
Yeah, I mean, she's physically held him up at certain events. It's not like she of course she knew.
Yeah, I don't agree with him though about the
face planting.
I just don't. I think she's going to be the nominee. Like, I don't see any other scenario.
Well, I think she's going to be the nominee too, but I don't think I think that this is the initial shiny new object, and she's getting a lot of attention. And I do agree with them that I don't think that she's going to face plant and that she's going to be replaced, but I do think that she's probably going to go a little bit down.
Yeah.
I think that the shininess is going to wear off. She's going to dull a little bit. I really do think so.
I hope that's right. Meant to play this yesterday, and then of course the internet went crazy because of the rainstorm in Texas. But Batya Ungar-Sargon has a message, which I think is a very important one for Trump and his team to hear.
Going to be a lot of accusations of racism and sexism. And here's the thing. Donald Trump is going to have to take the high road. And if he's listening or anyone is listening, I am just begging the campaign to recognize the stupendous achievement President Trump has done in getting 40% of Black men to admit that they are going to vote for him. He might get even higher than that. This is such a revolutionary, significant achievement on the part of Donald Trump. And it would just be so awful if that was squandered, in the gutter in this fight over racism. She's going to call him a racist. And the best thing he can do is simply talk about the record. Right. Oh, I'm a racist. You're the border czar.
Right.
They need to hire this woman.
Right?
Oh my God, they need to. She needs to be on his staff. She's phenomenal in every way. The way that she speaks, just everything about her. He needs to pay her a ton of money and just put her on his staff immediately.
Yep. Totally agree. Kevin McCarthy was asked about this whole DEI fight. And I hear what she's saying about just ignore the racism accusations, but I don't necessarily think we shouldn't say that Kamala is a DEI candidate. She has been from the beginning. And so, and Biden is the one that said it. So I don't know why there's such a push right now for people to say, don't say that, else you'll be called racist. You got to be scared to say that. It's a fact. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Kevin is saying that we need to stop it.
Right.
Let me ask you about something we're already starting to hear, again, mainly from some of your former House colleagues who have been attacking Harris. They've been calling her a DEI vice president. A lot of people already think that attack line is racist. Are you confident that your party and Donald Trump can stay on the other side of the line and not delve into racially charged or racist attacks on a black female
I would
candidate?
say two attacks I've heard Republicans give that are totally stupid and dumb to do is the DEI attack. Okay. The other attack that I would not do is saying that the president has to resign.
Interesting.
That would be an advantage for Kamala. Air Force One is very powerful when it lands somewhere. And you know what? Something will happen between now and the election, a hurricane or something else, and she'll be able to present herself as a leader. Or maybe there's some foreign policy. That is a mistake for any leader to go out and say that on the Republican side. This DEI, that seems like a petty. Look, I disagree with DEI, but she is the vice president of the United States. She is the former U.S. senator. These congressmen that are saying it, they're wrong in their own instance.
All right. It comes down.
Somebody just asked, I'm sorry, it's O01Q2W3E. I'm sorry. When Cheadle is called DEI, is that racist? So what's the difference?
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess it would just be sexist to say it.
But this is the thing. It's because of the color of her skin. Like I don't see the problem in calling her a DEI candidate. She is one.
Biden called her that.
Right.
He used that system to hire her. He admitted it.
She was put into the position because of the color of her skin and because she has lady parts.
Yep.
And that's why they put her there.
Call that out.
I think it's totally appropriate to call that out.
Okay.
So do it. And he's wrong. It's not like that guy's wrong too. It's not like that guy's never been wrong.
And Democrats have gotten so ridiculous about all the wordplay and the semantics that now if you say something factually true, like that she is incompetent, now the word incompetent is racist. And I was like, so you can't criticize her in any way, period, without being accused of being racist.
We're going back to Hillary. This is exactly what they did with Hillary. If you said anything about Hillary, if you said something about her pantsuits, then you were a sexist. And it's bullcrap. It's absolutely bullcrap. Yeah, it's like women are not off. We're not off limits. And this is what makes me crazy. I talk to my daughter about this all the time. Just because you're a woman doesn't mean that you can't be expected to do the job at the same level that a man does. Don't think that you get a free pass. And that's what I think women are. They think that they get a free pass now because of all this garbage. I hate it. You should work just as hard, if not harder. And that's how we were when we were growing up. So why is it different now? Why is it different? Because you get to scream sexist. You're sexist if you say anything to me or if I'm not doing. It's such a bull crap. I hate it. It makes women look weak and pathetic.
Here is one of these black women who think the word incompetent is a dog whistle, essentially.
Three I's: immigration, inflation, and competence. You have Kamala Harris, who's the deciding vote for the Inflation Reduction Act that actually spent trillions of dollars causing inflation. She was Biden's border czar when we've had a record number of border crossings. And incompetence, she stood side by side with Joe Biden on every single foreign policy disaster we've had, including the disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan. She owns that record. That's all Donald Trump has to talk about. The rest will take care of itself.
She's not incompetent. Okay, like you don't become the Attorney General of California
or a U.S. Senator
or the Vice President of the United States. By calling her incompetent, you're calling the 81 million people who voted for her incompetent as well. But let me just say this. That is what we're talking about. There is a way to attack her record on policy without calling her a name. Incompetent is an unflattering name. And when people do that to black women, that is what Dan is talking about. You might not agree, but as a black woman, let me tell you how we hear it.
Well, you know who disagrees are the voters. The voters right now believe the Biden-Harris administration is one of the most incompetent administrations in American history. That's not me. That's the voters right now. They're not just saying about the vice president. They're saying about everyone in the administration right now.
Yeah, you know.
Exactly.
If it were a white man, would she be saying the same thing? No, she wouldn't be. So stop it. Stop it with the identity politics. It's so stupid. Like if we all want to be equal, which is what, listen, when in the 80s, this is the way that we looked at the world. We looked at everything as like equal. You know, we didn't look at skin color like all these people do now. We just were like, okay, like, is this person incompetent or is this person not incompetent? She's incompetent. This administration is incompetent.
And that the whole administration, and he is a part of that. So
exactly.
It's not racist if we call him incompetent, but it is if we call
her incompetent. Yeah, and it's sexist too. It's sexist, which makes her even weaker.
Yeah,
and it makes that chick talking about it weaker. Stop it.
Former Prime Minister Liz Truss was on with Neil Cavuto to talk about identity politics, this very thing, and her impressions of Kamala as a potential leader.
There have been some brilliant American women in politics, but I don't think Kamala Harris is one of them. She was given the specific job of sorting out immigration on the southern border. It is now at crisis point. She has not delivered as vice president, and she's got the job now because of the crazy situation with President Biden retiring at the last minute, even though everybody in America knew that he was not up to the job. So she has got the job. She's got the nomination, or she's about to get the nomination, in what is a very, very bizarre scenario. What I hate is identity politics. We shouldn't care if somebody is an ethnic minority. We shouldn't care if they're a woman. We should be caring about, can they do the job? And she is not proven as vice president she can do the job. And I think we are going to see a situation similar to what we saw in the UK. I think there will be a landslide against the incumbent party because they have not delivered for the American people.
Yeah, and I think to your point, it's a good one. We've elected plenty of women in the House and in the Senate as governors. We just haven't done the right one for president. And by and large, they end up being conservative women. We do get there. But what is your take on the American election? I mean, you met Joe Biden. I mean, did you have any inkling of what has since led to his stepping down?
Well, he certainly was quite long-winded in the anecdotes he told when I met him, but he has clearly deteriorated significantly since then. And what is appalling is this has been covered up by the Democrat Party. It's been covered up by the media. And it's only at the last minute, so a deal can be done, that he has stood down. And I think that puts the Democrats in an incredibly difficult position. And the reason why women get selected in the Conservative Party and they go on to do great things is because we're meritocratic. We believe in the value of the individual and the individual's talents. We don't believe in identity politics. The Democrats and the left are obsessed with it.
That is damn straight. DEI stands for didn't earn it. That's what it stands for. And Kamala didn't earn this. And I got to tell you, if I ever was in that position, and I feel this way at the core of my being, if I got some sort of job and I didn't earn it, I couldn't live with myself. I couldn't take it. I wouldn't be able to do that. I don't know how these broads do it. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they get into these positions knowing that they didn't earn it. Yeah. How do you look in the mirror and live with yourself? I think it's gross.
It is. It's absolutely vile. There's Representative Horsford. I'm not sure. I've never seen him before, but he also was stopped in the hallway and asked about this DEI stuff.
The most offensive thing that I have heard someone say, she is the vice president of the United States. She is the most qualified person to be our nominee. No. She will beat Donald Trump.
I mean, if she's the most qualified, then your party sucks, man. It really does. Yeah, that's a sad commentary on who you got on your bench. If she's the most qualified.
Jayapal is now, this is going to be the new gaslighting. Jayapal is now going to pretend as if most people don't even know what that stands for.
Don't even know what DEI is. If that's all they've got, well, we're going to win in November.
Yeah, it stands for didn't earn it. That's what it stands for.
Here's another ad, which we've got quite a bit to remind folks of about Kamala's record and what she believes and what she plans to do if elected president. Here is just one ad where it shows how liberal, how radical she actually is.
You thought Joe Biden was radical? Just wait until you get to know Kamala Harris. She's dangerously liberal.
I am Kamala Harris. My pronouns are she and her. You know, for far too long, the status quo thinking has been to believe that by putting more police on the street, you're going to have more safety. And that's just wrong.
You're confident this border's secure?
We have a secure border. We're not going to treat people who are undocumented across the border as criminals. That's correct.
People who are convicted in prison, like the Boston Marathon bomber, on death row, they should be able to vote?
I think we should have that conversation.
Abolish ICE. Yeah. Is that a position that you agree with?
Listen, I think there's no question that we've got to critically re-examine ICE, and we need to probably think about starting from scratch.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's new darling of the party. She 60 Minutes this weekend proudly calling herself a radical, and she's promoting policies like saying that every single carbon emission in the country, every car, should be eliminated within the next 11 years, everything from a 70 to 80% tax rate. Do you agree that she could possibly, in this ideology of the socialist left, could splinter your party?
No, I think that's fantastic.
Total whack job. Complete and total whack job.
Yikes.
Mm-hmm.
Yikes. Someone also put together another montage. Again, these are some of these clips I have completely forgotten that they existed, and it was a stark reminder of how crazy she is. And they called this montage, "Yes, she really said that."
Beings. I don't even call it climate change. It's a climate crisis. It represents an existential threat to us as a species.
Will you commit to implementing a federal ban on fracking your first day in office, adding the United States to the list of countries who have banned this devastating practice?
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. Back to the United States Congress. Here's my point. If they fail to act as President of the United States, I am prepared to get rid of the filibuster to pass a Green New Deal. I strongly believe that we need to have Medicare for all. And within that system,
Do you think that's socialist or not, Medicare for all?
No. It's about providing health care to all people.
You support giving universal health care, Medicare for all, to people who are in this country illegally?
Let me just be very clear about this. I am opposed to any policy that would deny in our country any human being from access to public safety, public education, or public health, period.
Would you support a federal gun license?
I like the idea.
People who are convicted in prison, like the Boston Marathon bomber, on death row, people who are convicted of sexual assault, they should be able to vote?
I think we should have that conversation. We know that we really...
My God.
A complete lunatic.
Holy cow. That's a lot. I mean, on every issue. And I saw like some grading scale, you know how they like rate senators on how liberal they are. She's the most liberal. She exceeds the liberalism of Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Yeah. But on top of that, remember, if she becomes president, it's her. Plus you got Obama pulling her strings because it would be his fourth term. That's what he wants. He just wants somebody who's malleable and, he's able to control, and he can control her because she's an idiot. She's an idiot and she's a radical. So he's like, this is perfect, right? I can control her. It's a perfect person to just be able to control. And so he would
let's not forget, I mean, she might be out on the campaign trail given her prepared speeches, but when she is tasked with just speaking, it sounds like a complete word salad.
I think we should have that conversation.
As you'll hear.
We know that we really are quite behind in terms of maximizing our collective understanding about how we will engage on the technology of today, and what we can quickly and easily predict will be the technology over the next decades. So to maintain our position as the United States of America on this issue, it is critical that we work together to understand where we are, to recognize and have the courage to speak truth about what is obsolete, and then to partner to ensure that we are speaking the same language with the same motivation, inspired by the opportunity of it all, but then doing the work of updating how we have been talking and thinking about
the hell is she talking about?
Nothing.
What
she said nothing.
She is just talking in circles. Hoodview politics. Seriously, you think these are fake videos?
Oh my God. Are you serious?
You're still wearing a mask, aren't you? You're still wearing a mask right now. God help you.
We're going to go with cheap fakes now.
Yeah.
Is that what we're going?
This is what. Yeah. This is
you
their
wish
fake.
They were fake.
Oh my God.
Wish, because these are all too real, my friend. These are so
good
real.
Lord, we'll pray for you.
And so too are these. These clips are also real.
This election in November, it's going to be about literally our health and whether we live or die. Thank you, guys. And my pronouns are she, her, and hers.
She, her, and her? Mine too.
So I decided I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy. What else do we know about this population, 18 through 24? They are stupid. They make really bad decisions.
Do you believe that Americans should have the right to vote at age 16?
I'm really interested in having that conversation.
She thinks we should do away with the Electoral College. Is that? Do you agree with that?
I think that I'm open to the discussion.
Assault weapons that are already in circulation. What do you do about those?
We have to have a buyback program, and I support a mandatory buyback program.
Oh my God.
Victory that you have a Republican like
Kamala Harris calling the attack an attempted modern-day lynching.
Which tweet? What tweet?
About Jussie Smollett.
Okay, so I will say this about that case. I think that the facts are still unfolding.
Senator, do you have any comments on Jussie Smollett? Do you have any comments about it?
Comment on Smollett.
You know what also excites me? Among the many things, I'm excited about electric school buses. I love electric school buses. I just love them. For so many reasons. Maybe because I went to school on a school bus. Raise your hand if you went to school on a school bus, right?
What in the world?
Sweet Jesus. This woman.
I just cannot.
Yeah.
None of that is fake. Every single one of those
Right.
is exactly what she said.
But listen, it's racist to call her incompetent. Racist.
Right. She's fine. Everything's fine.
Imagine if that were a man, a white man, saying all of that
and
doing all of that. But we can't call her incompetent because she has more melanin in her skin and she's got lady parts. Bite me.
But just get ready. This is a flashback. This is a year or so ago. But this is how the media is going to be treating her from here on out.
Let me ask you one more question. I'm struck just in your presence. I was watching you on stage, watching the reactions from the crowd, looking you in the eye with your passion that you were displaying and talking about so many issues.
Let's make out. Let's seriously make out right now.
And I didn't know, somebody pointed this out on Twitter, that there's like a whole series of cooking videos with Kamala.
Are you joking?
Not joking. Here is just a little tiny taste of one.
Yeah. Okay.
You can do it one-handed.
Yes.
You're a pro.
Yeah, come on now. Okay.
When were these made? When
I
she was
don't know.
supposed to be border czar? What
Yeah.
the hell?
Yeah, okay.
And that's not sexist. I mean, seriously, let's get the woman to do cooking videos.
Right.
I mean, I only have a kitchen because it came with my house. At no time would I ever do a cooking video. But okay. How is that not sexist?
I know. It's
Good
completely
Lord.
crazy. I'm still just cracking up that somebody is trying to say these are fake.
Oh my God.
You know what proves how bad she is that one of her defenders is trying to say these are fake. That is your proof right there.
Right. I know. Because they're
fact
so
that
bad.
they're real.
They're so bad. I know. It's like she looks like such a freaking idiot. They're like, these are fake.
Unfortunately.
If she actually
They
looked
are
good,
all
you
too
wouldn't be
real.
saying that.
Exactly. So she did a rally yesterday that was in like a high school gym full. I mean, people, all the sheep came out for it. And much of it was exactly the same script as she used at the campaign headquarters. They didn't even write her a new speech. That whole thing that she did about how I was a prosecutor and I know Donald Trump's type. You remember that we showed the other day?
Mm-hmm.
Same exact speech. The difference was that she, at the very beginning, she was very excited to talk about how much money they've earned and how this is a very people-centric campaign.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, Wisconsin. On the other hand, we are running a people-powered campaign.
Seriously? Oh. Okay. It's a dictatorship.
And And we just had some breaking news. We just had the best 24 hours of grassroots fundraising in presidential campaign history. And because we are a people-powered campaign, that is how you know we will be a people-first presidency.
I know. It's like you were placed there, lady.
You were installed by a cabal.
Right.
How do you say those things out loud and not...
Because they're liars and they're cheaters, Mock. They are liars and cheaters. This is what they do. They will claw their way up there. And then they will gaslight everybody in the country and saying, oh, we're saving democracy. This is what they do. And if you can't think critically, which most Democrats can't, they're like, oh, yes, sir. May I have another? They think that this is true. And it's not. And that's a shame that people can't think critically. It's a shame. You know, and she's talking a lot to all those 18 to 24-year-olds who she says were stupid, who are stupid. And a lot of them are lapping it up.
I know. Anytime you see an 18 to 24-year-old say, I'm with her or whatever she's a brat and whatever the phrases are for Kamala, make sure to answer with that video of her saying they are stupid. Because that's what she really thinks.
She thinks you're stupid and she knows that you're lapping it up. Because you're an idiot. Yeah.
I mean, how do they say these things and not... There should be something that happens to you physically when you lie that hard. You know what I mean?
I know. I wish it hurt. I wish it actually hurt.
Yeah.
Like it caused severe pain.
Wow.
Yeah.
Joy Reid, she's getting her big giant face in the camera. And by the way,
do that.
Valen, producer Valen, if you're listening, please don't make our faces so big.
I know. And our shorts are like way in the, I know. They're so
Don't make us so close up.
Like, here are my pores. Here are my
unnerving to me, and it's my face. And I don't want to see my face that close.
I personally, like mostly, I'm the one who really doesn't want to see my face. Yeah.
It's just too close up. But Joy Reid, that is her default mode. This was a tirade that went on way longer than I'm about to show you. I'm just going to show you just a tiny bit. She's of course very, very excited about Kamala, says that she's going to be like the first woman president, blah, blah, blah. But she also wants to send a message to anybody not voting for her, particularly people who are Black or people of color. She says that they're going to be very lonely and alone if they don't vote for this one.
Hey fam, okay, I just gotta say it. Given the just stratospheric entrance of Vice President Kamala Harris into the presidential campaign, and she has now secured enough delegates to become the nominee, you're gonna look real crazy being on the other side of that line, particularly as a person of color, but really as anyone who claims to have any connection to the culture. You're gonna look real weird and real lonely on that side.
So that's awful to do. You know, it's like, you're not one of us. You're not gonna, like, you can't think for yourself. God forbid that you actually have an independent thought. What is it about Democrats where they say that to people? You can't think. You cannot think critically. You have to think this way and this way only. Like that's what she's perpetuating that. I hate that so much. What is that? It's bullying. She's bullying people.
Yeah, I mean, it has zero impact on me because she's crazy, and I know that it's crazy for her to say that, like that. So many people who are not going to vote for Kamala, nobody's going to listen to that and be like, "Oh, well, Joy Reid says I'm going to be lonely. I'm going to change my vote."
But can you imagine being a Black person and who is a conservative, a Black conservative? Because there's plenty of Black conservatives out there who watch that and think, "Don't tell me what to do."
Right?
Like God, that's so off-putting. It's just so gross to me when people do that. It's like, listen, you're Black, so you got to think this way. I guess, how dare she tell people what to do because of the color of their skin? And that is what she's doing. And that's not okay. And that's precisely what we don't do on our side of the aisle. That's what we don't do. We're like, listen, think for yourself. Look at the facts, think for yourself, and we will welcome you with open arms. That's a beautiful thing. I just think it's so gross. It's like, and they do it with women. They do it with gay people. They do it with Black people. They do it with Hispanics. They do it with everybody. And it drives me crazy that they do that. Why do they do? You don't have to think like they think. Think for yourself, make a decision based on facts, and then we'll be here waiting with open arms. And like I said to my friend this morning, with cookies. And hugs.
And hugs.
Right.
Math Nerd Knitter says she is DEI by definition. Exactly. Audrey Krause 5 says, wait, so being a woman gives you a protective shield? I don't think so. Shonda Diane said, my wife is mad that I have no sense of direction, so I packed up my stuff and write.
I didn't hear the first part.
My wife is mad that I have no sense of direction, so I packed up my stuff and write. Instead of left. I packed up my stuff and left.
Okay. I mean, it's okay. It has potential.
Maybe it was my delivery. Maybe it just wasn't good. Genius the First said, so Joe Biden pulled out of the race. If only he pulled out of Jill.
Oh my gosh.
That's harsh.
You think I'm bad.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Jose says that crocheted that crocheted bikini top made me yarn. Now take my money. Uriel says, when you read Orwell's 1984 and you look at the world we've been living in for at least the last 4 years, is there any significant difference? Animal Farm will also open your eyes.
Right.
Yes.
It will. Oh my gosh. 1984.
Yeah. Mark K. Thank you. He says the clown on Meet the Press said it out loud, except the establishment will cook up a foreign incident to make the cackling chuckle fuck VP look presidential. Have a good day, ladies.
You made Mock say the F word.
I didn't mind it. Julie Wolf said, so ironic. How can it be sexist when we can't even define what a woman is? Great point.
This is the thing. They're like all rallying around a woman. I find that interesting too, that they can't even define a woman, but yet they're like, oh, the first Black woman. It's like, but wait.
I know. Wait. Larky, thank you. Larky says that lady said 81 million voters voted for her is gaslighting. They voted for Biden. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly right. Harris might have been on the ticket, but that's not the same. They don't get to say that this is grassroots.
No, they're saying it. They're saying it.
The photo in the story says Kamala Harris is the end game of academic feminism. Let's hope so, because I can't take much more of this. All right, let's move on because we need to talk about a warning that Hamas put out on the Paris Olympics. So this is muted because it's in a different language. But Daisy, if you could read the
I got to use my new glasses.
This is one of those guys he's covered up his face, and I just need to warn you, graphic warning alert. He holds up a woman's severed head at the end of it. Because this is Hamas. And this is who college kids, you remember, were protesting on behalf of.
Yes,
just
ma'am.
Keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm. In the name of God, our struggle against the Zionist regime continues. We address to the people of France and to the French President Macron. You supported the Zionist regime and its criminal war against the people of Palestine. You provided Zionists with weapons. You helped murder our brothers and sisters, our children. You invited the Zionists to the Olympic Games. You will pay for what you have done. Rivers of blood will flow through the streets of Paris.
Wow.
Jesus. This day is approaching, God willing. Allah is the greatest. Oh my God.
Can you even? I mean, that's terrifying.
Yeah. And these college kids are like, I love Hamas.
Yeah, they would. And queers for Palestine.
I love them. They're so great. And like none of that stuff happened. It's all propaganda.
Yeah, nobody raped or murdered.
No, I mean they're incapable of it. I love them. I just want to hang out with them. Really? It's a severed head.
I know.
Idiots.
I hated to show it, but like I feel like it's important that people know how insane this organization is.
And you're supporting terrorists. And I hope that Kamala's like stepdaughter saw that too.
Yeah, exactly. Now to cleanse your brain and your eyeballs of that horror show, now you're going to see one of the best campaign ads ever. This is for a fellow who is running for governor in the state of Missouri, and he has a problem with all the illegals. He's going to tell you about it.
I'm running for governor to crack down on illegal immigration.
Él es bilaigo y tomará medidas enérgicas contra la inmigración ilegal.
No more taxpayer handouts for illegals, period. Nada. Zilch. Zero.
No más ilegales, no más dinero, no más fiestas.
Throwing them in jail and sending them back where they came from.
Ay, caramba.
It's time to take Missouri back.
I cannot.
I love that.
It's freaking awesome. Oh my God. People's heads exploding everywhere. Oh my God, this is so mean. Meanwhile, all the legal Hispanics that are here are like, that was awesome. That was great. It's freaking awesome. Seriously, I know some of them here in Texas that are like, that's awesome. They would love that. They would love that ad because they came here legally. Because to that chick yesterday that was like, I don't understand the difference. I don't understand. Remember, they're like, because both JD Vance's wife and Trump's wife were legal immigrants, and she doesn't understand. She doesn't understand.
Well, actually, JD's wife is American. 100%.
Okay, she's 100% American, but she probably mistook that, right? Didn't she use?
Well, she's a woman of color, so she just made the. She
made the assumption. She made the assumption that she was, but she's not. She's actually an American citizen. But she used Melania because, of course, they always use Melania and just assume that she's an illegal alien, which she's not. And so it just drives me crazy. But yeah, yesterday we had to explain to a dumb liberal that there's a difference between legal and illegal immigration. And we're against illegal immigration because we like laws. It's really interesting how that works. It's like you can't just pick and choose what laws you want to break, because if we could, I wouldn't pay my taxes. It's like interesting.
I mean, it's not complicated.
No, it's not. But to them,
they like
it
to make
is.
it that.
Yeah, it's really complicated for them.
Christopher Hayden, thank you. Chris says Hamas and other terrorist organizations are on the left side. They cause things like DEI and weak leadership, which helps destroy America.
Well,
That's exactly right.
They sure are supporting it. I mean, you can't deny that there is a left-right dichotomy when it comes to supporting Hamas and being anti-Semitic now. And the left sure is more anti-Semitic than the right these days, which is gross.
Bryson DeChambeau, who I am a new huge fan of, the professional golfer, invited both Donald Trump and Joe Biden to play golf with him to raise money for Wounded Warriors Project. I would have preferred Tunnel to Towers. I'm not a fan of Wounded Warriors Project, which we've mentioned many times before, but regardless, good for him. He wanted to raise money for charity. Biden didn't bother to respond because we know that Biden can't actually play. So Trump, of course, was all about it. And Trump actually did super well. Like, he's a crazy good golfer.
Yeah.
This was the trailer for it. And then the trailer for it ends up just going right into one of Trump's amazing shots.
Top 5 songs of all time.
Yeah.
Do you have that?
Well, I have a great playlist. I mean,
Playlist?
I have a playlist that's.
What do you got here?
So this is stuff that wouldn't have happened years ago. This is all good stuff. It's too old for you, but I will tell you.
What's your favorite? Frank Sinatra, right?
Well, I have a lot of Frank Sinatra. Yeah. We'll play this when we're finished breaking this record, if that ever happens.
Time to say goodbye. I love it.
It's time to say goodbye.
I love it.
Nice and soothing, right?
It is calming as ever.
Look at that shot.
Oh my God, he's really good.
Oh, what a shot. Partner. Great shot. That's how you do it right there. Gosh.
You think Biden can do that? I don't know. We had an argument about golf. Can you believe it?
I saw
Come
on CNN.
I don't even know if Bryson can do that.
I don't think I could do that. If President Trump gets inside of me, I don't know what's going on. Get in there. Let's go! That's how we do it.
It's so cool.
That's how you finish off the round. We shot 22 under.
And now I know in golf they say things that make me want to say that's what she said a million times. Like immediately I start giggling, like
right, because it's so like sexual in nature, like
so inappropriate.
Yeah,
but so part of golf. And one of those moments happened, and I cannot stop laughing at this clip. Cannot stop.
That's 2 holes now that the president's gotten inside me.
That's what she said. Oh my god!
I can't get enough of that.
It's so great. It's so great.
Elon Musk recently did a sit down with Jordan Peterson, which that's 2 brains right there. That
I just together. That
oh my god,
amazing! I know. I just love. I sent that to my daughter-in-law, and I'm like, this is phenomenal. This just having these 2 men in the same room and the brains and the brilliance that is together. I just love. I cannot love that any harder.
Yeah. And I mean, watch the whole thing, obviously, but
so great.
We're going to share a couple clips. The first one is actually about Trump.
That's unbelievable.
I think there's something to be said that, America needs a strong leader, and where you have the perception of strength. Now, you have to admire that, Trump, after getting shot with blood streaming down his face, it could have been a second shooter, who knows? Nonetheless, was fist pumping, fight.
Yep.
After being shot.
Yeah.
I mean, and this is not.
He's an ornery bastard. And he's funny too.
Yes, and he's brave. He has courage. This is instinctual courage.
Yeah.
It's not calculated. It's not some arranged event. It's in the moment.
Well, you could see that then, because that was not a time when you're
you
going
see true courage in the moment.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And if you want a leader who's going to deal with some very, very tough cookies out there, who's going to deal with a Putin or Kim Jong-un or
China.
Yeah, China. Or, they'll think twice about messing with Trump.
Yeah.
They'll think twice.
Okay.
And poor Biden can't make it up the stairs, and obviously he's stepped out of the race. But nobody's going to be intimidated by Biden. It's impossible. I think they will be intimidated by a guy who was fist pumping after getting shot.
Yep, he's right. He's absolutely right.
This next clip is his experience, and this just took me back to my frustrating HR days, where he's talking about the damned if you do, damned if you don't situation that a lot of executives and hiring folks find themselves in when they're trying to do what the government tells them to do with respect to hiring practices. So this is an unbelievable example, but this is real world.
We're told for many years that we could not hire anyone who was not a permanent
resident.
Right.
They had to be that.
Well, so SpaceX develops advanced rocket technology, which is considered an advanced weapons technology because it's a core part of like intercontinental ballistic missiles.
Yeah.
So there are only a handful of things in the sort of highest level of weapon technology, and rocket technology is one of those, because we could deliver a payload and basically bomb anywhere on Earth.
Right.
From anywhere on Earth. So I was told in no uncertain terms by the government that if we hired anyone who was not a permanent resident of the United States, they had to have either a green card or a citizen, that I would go to prison.
Oh, yeah.
Because the presumption if somebody's not a permanent resident is that they will leave the United States and take the rocket technology from SpaceX to potentially to countries that would cause harm to the United States.
Right.
Pretty, solid reasoning, I think. And then a few years ago, the Biden administration decided to sue SpaceX for failing to hire asylum seekers.
Right.
Unreal.
Yeah, I remember that.
So we're told on the one side that if we hire anyone who's not a permanent resident, resident, we go to prison. Now we're told if we don't hire asylum seekers who are not people who've been granted asylum.
Oh my God.
Seekers. They aspire to asylum. They are therefore not a permanent resident. But if we don't hire them, we also go to prison.
Right. Well, the purpose of being damned if you do and damned if you don't is to make damn sure that you're damned.
It's just absurd. All of it is completely absurd. And then I go back to what we talked about previously, which is this administration hates small businesses. They just hate business. They don't understand corporations. They don't understand how to run businesses because these people have been in the government forever and they've sucked off the American taxpayer forever. They don't understand how to build anything, grow anything, run anything. They don't. They just want to punish you and they just want to take your money. That's all they care about.
It's infuriating to hear stories like that. It's just such a great example of how big and bloated and useless government has become.
Yeah. And aren't they the biggest employer now? The federal government is the biggest United States employer. I've read that somewhere. Am I wrong about that?
That's really sad.
It should not be the case, you guys. Why do we allow that? It's gross.
It is. This last clip from this interview that we have, and again, go back and watch the entire thing. But this is where Elon starts talking about his trans daughter. I mean, it's a daughter now. She's estranged. He's estranged from Elon. Yeah. They have not spoken. He was born as a Xavier. Now he's like I don't even know what, but they don't speak. And it's because at the age of 16, Xavier decided, I'm going to be a girl. And if you don't let me have all these drugs, I'm going to kill myself, essentially. And so Elon, desperate to save his son, now feels very, very much swindled by this entire, gender affirming culture.
Movement. It's
And so it's one of the reasons that he bought Twitter, actually, is to make sure that there was not this infestation on every social media platform of woke hive mind. Here he is.
God bless him. Yeah.
It wasn't explained to me that puberty blockers are actually just sterilization drugs. And so I lost my son, essentially. They call it dead naming for a reason.
Yeah.
All right. So the reason it's called dead naming is because your son is dead. So my son Xavier is dead, killed by the woke mind virus.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what that would be like.
He was so dear to him too. Yeah. I mean, he went on, and Jordan Peterson is just, God, he's so lovely. He's just such a wonderful man, the way that he handled that whole thing. But you can tell, I mean, that's obviously, this is so personal for Elon. And so it does give you a lot of insight into how he feels about all of this. And man, it just, you can see and hear the pain.
Yeah. And I can't imagine.
I can't either. I can't imagine either. How awful that is. And then I was wondering when I saw that yesterday, I was like, I wonder if that kid, in 10, 15 years or even earlier is going to, like a lot of these kids, will change his mind about what he's done and then be like, crap, I shouldn't have done this. And
I'm screwed up forever now.
I'm screwed up forever. My body's screwed up. My mind is a mess. I screwed up because of this madness. And then what do you do?
Speaking of gender bending stuff, Brittney Griner, you guys.
That's a man, baby.
There is no way. So just to further that rumor, himself, whatever that person is now a parent, which is terrifying. And here that person is to talk about it.
One other job that you're about to get into that is really hard and really scary. You're about to be a mom. How is that feeling? Pops. Oh, let me get it together. About to be a pops. Please tell me how exciting that is for you and what you're looking forward to most.
I'm super excited.
You guys.
I mean, that's a dude, right? That's a dude.
I mean, it has to be a dude. dude.
I know. And every single time I see that individual, I'm like, there's no way that's a woman.
There's no way.
Yeah. There's just no way. I feel like there's something happening there where we've not seen it. I don't want to see it.
Please do not talk about that.
I'm just saying, I think that we're just missing something. That's a man.
It's
a dude.
Yikes. It's a dude who wants to be called Pops. So anyway, not a fan of Matt Walsh because of reasons that we will not get into in great detail, but we've told you that before. However,
we've had words. There has been words.
We've had words. But his movie, What is a Woman? Phenomenal, right? It was fantastic.
Right.
And now he is coming out with a new movie, which I guess is going to be released in theaters. It's that big of a deal. And it's along the same lines. And it's about, are you a racist, basically? So the first one was, What is a Woman? You should see it if you haven't. This one is, Are you a racist? The trailer looks amazing.
It does.
Particularly because at the end, you'll see that he got a very prominent person fooled. And here is the trailer.
Let's be clear, what's happening in this country, it's Nazism. Republicans are Nazis. You cannot separate yourselves from the bad white people.
Growing up in the 90s, I never thought much about race. Sure, you noticed, but never really seemed to matter that much, at least not to me.
Being a white, straight, cisgender man, it's the top of the pile.
I'm on the top of the pile, that's me. Am I racist?
I would really appreciate it if you left.
I'm trying to learn, I'm on this journey.
Can you please leave?
If I'm gonna sort this out, I need to go deeper undercover. If I want to be an ally, I need to look like one.
That's pretty funny.
What is racism?
Martin Luther King said not to judge people by
Martin Luther King said a lot of stuff.
Is America inherently racist?
What the hell is that?
The word inherent is challenging there. America is racist to its bones. All of the...
So inherently.
Yeah. The entire system has to burn. And I'm not going to even use save this country. This country is not worth saving. This country is a piece of shit.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
They gonna say I'm racist.
Joining us now is Matt, certified DEI expert.
Here's my certification. Where are you guys on your anti-racist journeys? So I'll look around the room and point to who we believe is the most racist person in the room. We want to rename the George Washington Monument to the George Floyd Monument. Would you mind signing it? You will? What do you think about this issue of heteronormativity and how it intersects with the broader structures of racism in society?
They gonna say I'm racist.
What's up with white people? What are you doing to decenter your whiteness?
Who's making it the center? Why are they doing that?
And what you're doing is you're stretching out of your whiteness. This is more for you in this view. White
folks,
white
trash, white supremacy, white woman, white boy, white entitlement, white centering, white silence.
Is there a black person around here?
So there's a black person right here. Does he not exist?
They gonna say I'm racist, but they call everybody racist.
Hi, Robin.
Hi. And what's your name?
I'm Matt.
Matt. Hi,
Yeah.
Matt.
Nice to meet you.
I just had to ask who you are because you have to be careful.
Never be too careful.
They gonna say you racist.
I cannot wait.
I mean, you freaking got Robin DiAngelo. I cannot wait.
You cannot be too careful. You can't.
That's amazing. Absolutely
That's
amazing.
Be great.
Also, you will enjoy. We're getting to the near end of our show. Look at that. We're going to be over 2 hours, but
Look at
not
that.
terribly over. So that's good. This is an exchange between a guy who's asking a gun control fanatic, "Hey, tell me about whether teachers should have defensive arms in the classroom." And this conversation does not go well at all.
Teachers be allowed to carry firearms in their classrooms?
Yeah, I don't think so. I'm an advocate of larger gun control, and I think that opening up, like reducing restrictions is not conducive to how I think the problems of things like mass shootings should be solved.
So let me ask you this. If there was a mass shooter in your classroom, would you rather be in classroom A with a professor with a gun, or classroom B, you all have cell phones and you can call 911? What classroom?
Yeah, I mean, obviously classroom A, but once again, those are such...
Unreal.
I guess we in order for these, I guess... We're painting kind of two different pictures of a world. Yours is where people are more generally armed, and mine is where...
And you would choose the classroom where they're more armed.
In that individual moment, yes, right now, if I had to choose those two worlds where I'm more... Okay.
I screwed up.
Backpedal.
Yep. God bless him. He doesn't know, right? God, he's in that 18 to 24-year-old range. That's stupid, right? Okay.
All right. It is time for your DDs.
Okay. First of all,
it's a triple today.
It's a triple. It's a triple D. Triple DD. Okay. First, we have two cows that are basically mocking me.
The Bible of God watching.
God. God bless you guys. There we are. But I like how you're chewing.
It is the
You're just chewing. You were chewing that whole time. Okay. The second one is I love
that totally tracks.
What?
That I'm chewing.
It tracks that you're chewing the whole time, and I'm just standing there like, what? Come at us, yo. Okay. And then the second one is this really sweet story. I think this is a little bit older, but I love it so much. But it's about a golden retriever. Isn't that the sweetest? Isn't that cute? I love that so much. It kind of reminds me of like a mom who's like 5 foot tall, and then all of her sons are like 6'4". You know,
yes.
It's just the cutest thing. I love it so much. And then you wanted me to tell the story about the frogs, but there's really nothing to tell other than.
Well, I mean, you're a murderer, so.
It's not really me, it's my pool. But my husband was telling me there's like 9 frogs that he found in our little basket. You know, you guys have the skimmer basket and pools. If you guys have pools, and you know, but you guys, frogs and toads are dying. Like they're just committing suicide in droves in our pool. And it makes me so sad. But I'm finding them in the bottom of our pool. I'm having to skim them out, and then they're in our skimmer basket. One was just complete. I know. And I feel so terrible about this. I don't know if anybody has suggestions on how to keep frogs and toads from committing suicide in our pool, but it's not I don't know if it's the chlorine. A lot of times they get in and then they can't get out. You know what I mean? But they're dying. I didn't
know that they couldn't just pop out of a deep pool, like deep water. I didn't think that. I thought they could swim and be fine. I don't understand what's happening.
There are frogs and toads, and then there's giant spiders, like giant that we have to get at. I know. And the spiders, man, they live for a little while. Like those suckers won't die. I mean, I'm like, you can die. I'd rather the frogs live. Yeah, but I mean,
the frogs are doing.
It's really sad. And then somebody sent us something on insiders the other day, which, by the way, if you ever want to join our insiders or our locals groups, great groups to join. Those are your people. Definitely check those out. But somebody sent us something about frogs, and Mock was like, oh my gosh, we were just talking about how like 9 suicidal frogs ended up in Daisy's pool. So yeah, I don't know why so many frogs are
crazy.
It makes me sad. Because I like them. They're very sweet, especially the giant toads, the humongous Texas toads everything's bigger in Texas. Yeah.
Yeah, your pool, man.
And amazing. Donald, the wolf, we get so many wolf spiders. Yes, Donald. The huge wolf spiders. Oh God, they look like tarantulas. They're so gross.
John Newbaum says, when Christie responded to AOC's question about the range of coverage at the outdoor event, AOC should have said, oh girl, baby girl, please. Baby girl, don't even play.
Don't even play.
All right, I do have a few talks. It's been a while because our shows have gone so long, but I do have 3 precious dog videos. The first, everybody knows Downward Dog. It's a yoga thing.
Yes.
Obviously on that
the stretch that they do.
Butts in the air.
Yes.
And their hands out in front of them. I have never seen a dog go from Downward Dog to full prone the way this dog does.
Oh, it's so great. So great. We all need to do that.
That is a stretch right there.
It's fantastic. And he's like, did you see it? Did you see it?
Also, for those of you who have had to give your dogs pills and you've tried all the tricks and you've done the wrapping in cheese or the wrapping in ham or whatever other trick that you've tried to do.
Peanut butter.
Peanut butter is another one. It can be tough, especially for your more clever dogs. Ella is very, very difficult to give pills to. She is on to us no matter what we hide them in. And this dog, this is impressive. This next dog. That's a banana.
That's pretty good. I didn't know you could actually give bananas to dogs. She's going to spit the pill right out. That pill's coming out. Yep, it's coming right out.
I mean, it's so hard.
I know. I have to shove them down Coda's throat.
Really? You can do that?
I mean, you just shove it all the way down and then you just kind of rub their necks and then they'll swallow it. Yeah. And then you give them some peanut butter as a treat, like as a good job. You took your pill. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's good to know. Because we're going to have to take Ella with us when we take Jackson to college. And the vet gave us like some sort of sedative.
Barbiturates.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she said it doesn't taste good. And I was like, oh my God, how are we going to
shove that down her throat? Just shove it down her throat.
All right. That's what I'll try. And then lastly, this sweet dog has a brand new baby in the house, brand new itty bitty baby who's sitting in one of those, bouncy seats.
Yes.
And the dog wants to play and doesn't understand that the baby does not know how to play back. So sweet. Here's my toy. You can have it. Throw it.
Oh my gosh, look at that sweet. He's like, oh, but I can give it to you and then can you throw it? God bless it. Just give it like 8 months, buddy, and that baby will be doing something with you. Oh, he's so sweet. That's so sweet.
You gonna throw it?
What a
Yeah, she can't throw that to you yet, buddy.
Give it a couple months.
She's too little.
He's like, but I want somebody to play with.
Oh, I forgot about the monkey.
Oh my gosh.
I forgot I had this. We have to watch it again because
so
it's
cute.
So great. He's
so
so
great.
stunned by this hair. Stunned, I tell you.
Love it.
Let me hit. There we go.
That's how mine looked this morning. That's why I put a hat on. So you guys weren't like stunned like the monkey. I didn't want you to get
somebody
stunned.
On Locals, Minnesota Solar Baby says, Daisy, they have attachments that go on the side of your pool for frogs to crawl out. Check Amazon.
I'm gonna look into that because I really
Do
am
it.
I'm genuinely like distraught over how many frogs and toads are in our skimmer.
You got to get that.
Because I like them, you guys. Like I was at a swim meet a couple weeks ago and these women next to us, because we're all under tents, all the moms and dads are like under tents watching our kids. And these people next to me, like they saw a mom and a baby toad and they were going to kill it. And I was like, what is wrong with you? I will take it and I will put it someplace else. Like, I will get it. And so
I had not like they're turtles.
I know.
I hate turtles.
And so I was like, I will move it for you. So I moved it. I relocated the mom and baby's toads so they wouldn't be put out. And I was just like, what is your problem? My God, I was so judging these people. What is wrong with you? Don't kill that. If it's a bug, I hear you. But like toads, no.
Also, frog legs are delicious. I'll say that right now.
Yeah, if they're fried, they're really good. Yeah, they're really good.
All right.
We're bringing it in.
We're bringing
You
it
guys.
in.
We're going over 2 hours now. Everybody have the best Wednesday ever.
The best.
Share all the dad jokes with all your friends, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.